Okay, welcome to week 6, and we're going to talk about components. And that's all the little doodads that go inside our building. We've covered walls, we've covered floors, we've covered doors and windows. And doors and windows are a wall-based family, meaning you can't put them anywhere but in a wall. Ah. So that leads us to we have hosted and non-hosted families. Okay. And later in the semester, we'll do a little family creation project, and you'll see more about that. But all families start with a template. And is it a wall-based, family that you're going to create? Is it a floor-based family you're going to create? Is it a ceiling-based? Or is it just level hosted, meaning it's not floor based? It's a non-hosted component, but it could be horizontal, it could be vertical, depending upon the template that you use. And then there's the truly non-hosted ones that could be put on any surface, horizontal, vertical, angled, things like that. All right, so open up the little building here that I've given you called placing components. Okay, and let's start level 1 here. Let's go architecture component. We don't want a parking space. Let's bring in a desk. Okay, and if you notice here in the properties, it tells you what level you're working on. There's no offset for it because we haven't placed it yet. So it's going to host on level 1. So I'm going to place it right there. Boom. Now, if I bring it into the building, you can see the floor is highlighted blue. Okay, not just the line, but the perimeter of the floor. So that means it's going to host on that floor. Okay. Now, as you're bringing in components, you can check the rotate after placement, and I'll show you that. It places it, and then you can rotate it automatically. Or as you're placing it, you can hit the space bar, and it will rotate. We've kind of done that before. I'll take that one out. Now, I want to show you on these, so let's pop a section through here. Okay. So now then, let's go find mode so it makes it easier to see. And a little color. All right, so you can see this desk is hosted on the level. Okay, so it's just there. It tells you right there, it's on level 1, there's no offset from level 1. If you need to move it for some reason, then you select it and you go pick new host. Okay. This one on the inside, and this particular floor system has the wood finish floor on top. And when I put it in, I changed the height offset. I raised it up 3/4 of an inch so that the plywood subfloor would be at level 1. All right, so this particular desk is hosted on the floor system. Tells you right here. Okay, and by doing that, if I were to take this floor system and move it down, we'll just move it down 1 feet just for demonstration purposes here. You see there? So the desk is connected to the floor. You move the floor, the desk moves with it. Okay. Now, one thing that you may see later in some of the projects is if you put furnishings in before you put in a finished floor, then, especially the way that we teach it in the other 2 classes, where you do the finished floor as a separate floor system and it's just on top of your structural floor. Any components you put in will be on the subfloor, not on the finished floor. Okay, and sometimes that's okay, like bathtubs go on the subfloor. Toilets and cabinetry go on top of the finished floor. Furniture goes on top of the finished floor. Okay, so it all depends on what you're doing, so you have to kind of pay attention to that. All right, let's go back to level 1 here. I can close that section 2 down. Let's look at, okay, there are some wall-based families that will cut an opening in the wall if it's required, like doors and windows. So I've loaded one in here, a mirror. So let's pick the mirror here. And when you move your mouse in, you see that it tells you to click on a wall to place the instance. So I'm going to come over here, and you see it kind of highlights onto the wall, and so I'll click to place it. And if you zoom in there, you can see it on the face of the wall. Well, I created a camera 3D view for you of that room, and there's the mirror on that wall. Okay. Now, if you let's say you put it in, you can change the elevation here from the level. Okay, right here in the properties. But if you put it in and you're like, I don't want it on that wall, I want it on a different wall. You come up here and you go pick new host, and then you pick the wall you want. And there it is over there on that wall. Okay, so this is a wall-based family. It has to go on a wall. It can't go on anything else. So let's go back over here to level 1. And let's go to component. And I have loaded for you a solar panel. Okay, right here, solar panel, 30 by 60. Now, if you notice up here, now we get some options. Because this is just a face-based family. It can go on any face. Okay, it could go on a vertical face. It could go on a horizontal face. It could go on a work plane, which we haven't covered work planes yet. So I'm going to leave it on face. And so here I can put it on the floor, or I can put it on a room. But you see, it won't pick up a wall. So if I change to place on vertical, now I can place it on the wall, but it tells me you can't see it. Okay, so let's move our section view down. There's our solar panel on the floor. There's our solar panel on the wall. And if you open the west view, there you'll see it right there. So it's a face-based family. Let's see. Columns, architectural columns, we kind of talked about that back when we were doing structural columns. So let's look at it again. Architectural column. You pick your size. This has just the rectangular 24 by 24 loaded. If you need more, you go load family, columns, and then you choose, which type you want. Okay. All right, and so there's my Doric column, 16 feet high. That's going to be a huge one. Okay, and then you can put it in your building, okay? All right, so it goes level 1, it says level 2. We can do, just like other columns, it can move the grid. We can attach top base to floors, to ceilings or things like that. All right, now it is called a 16-foot height because that's the height the family is made, but we set a top level of 2, top at level 2, and so it only goes up 9 feet tall to level 2. Okay. That's a lot of this stuff right here. We'll come back with another video and cover a few other things.